What is going on, YouTube? PPS back here. It is Past the Prop Friday edition. NBA, college basketball. You know what we're coming with you today. So joined as always by my guy, Stu. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great. Past the Prop has been absolutely fantastic. And as you know, I'm not the biggest college basketball guy in the world, but having basketball on like 24/7 is just awesome. Like just having consistent competitive basketball in the background 24/7 it's the best time of the year for a reason. So hey, I can't really complain about anything. I'm great right now.
Yeah, no, this time where you get to wake up, watch basketball, stay on all day. Fortunately, working in sports, you get to have the TV on all day. So I'm always got it on. I'm always watching some games. And yeah, it's been a really fun week. This is the second best week of the year, in my opinion. Obviously getting closer and closer to that March Madness time. You've been watching a little more basketball?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up. Golf on one screen, basketball on another. I don't know if I'm learning anything major, but I like to turn on the end of the games and see the game winners. I know just after we talked last game, there's the Syracuse one that we obviously had on the TV, and then I got to watch the George Mason game cash that my Discord was on, and I tailed. So it's been good. I'm trying to keep up, trying to get those roots in a little bit before it gets real serious.
For sure, dude. It's about that time, too. It's like all these close games, so many overtime games, because you're playing for the rest of your spot, for your rest of your life there. Some of these guys aren't going to make it to the tournament. They don't win. And I like to see that type of desperation from some of these teams,
Oh, yeah, too. And the other funny thing is when you look at some of these game logs, like some NFL or NBA teams have, the 10, 11-man rotations. Then you open up the college basketball and some kids, like 19, has played 40 minutes in like a couple of games, just playing the whole game. Like, I don't know. It's definitely fun to see the huge differences between college basketball and NBA basketball.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I know I talked a little bit about our St. Joe's play. Obviously, I'll talk about the recap there. But I told you guys, bet on my boy Eric Reynolds dropping 34-piece, 8 assists, played the full 40. I thought he was only going to play like 38. He didn't even come out. That dude just went out, put on a clinic, and luckily, I did take that bet. I talked about the player prop here on him points as another option if you wanted to do that, like on Prize Picks or something. And the dude just nuked it, absolutely nuked it. So yeah, it's I'm very, very excited to watch a couple more of these fun games because now you're getting to the nitty gritty, right? Now you're getting to good teams playing good teams. You're playing top semifinal games, like the games that look like an Elite Eight type of feel to it,
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, even just me, like, I'm just looking through, like, oh, which ranked teams are playing each other today? Okay, I'll watch those games because I'm sure I'm going to be seeing much more of those teams as well, too. So, 100%. I'm excited to tail some bets today. I don't know what you got in store, but I know I'm going to be tailing it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's take a look at the chat, and then we'll get into a recap, and we'll get it rolling. Usually our Friday shows are around 30, 35 minutes because we kind of cook through them. So let's look at it. Jay, first guy in here. We got Joe in here as well. Steve popping in here as well as Mike. Awesome. Congrats. You got the legal state.
Hell yeah.
Still not chilling in the legal state yet. I don't know when that's going to happen, but we'll see. Hopefully soon enough. I think they're opening it, but it's not apps. You can't have you can't bet on an app, but you can do it legally in a sports book. So, weird, but hey, I'll take it as long as hopefully it happens here. So, I guess we can talk NBA here a little bit right away after we do our recap, but I don't have any plays in NBA today. We'll be doing all college basketball. Let's go through our recap here, and I believe it starts here.
Yep, this was unfortunately the one loss of the game. Westbrook, 3 turnovers in the first 23 minutes and then does not see the court for the rest of the game, unfortunately. So he did get benched, kind of what we were worried about. But luckily, this was the low point. It only went up from here. Because this was easy. This was so easy. I know I was getting a little flack from it. People being like, hey, he's averaging 25 points his last 10 games. Well, that's what happens when you don't look at the stats. You kind of look at the matchup. You dive deeper into. I was very happy that this one cashed easy because I know if it didn't, I was going to be getting some angry DMs. So I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, and I started with St. Joe's. Obviously, came through. I talked about their money line. take that. You get that plus money. Talked about Eric Reynolds points. He dropped 34 on him. So anyway you went in this game, if you watch the show, you made some money. And then Porzingis just said, hey, fuck the rebounds, dude. I don't need the rebounds. Let's grab some points. Dropped a 40-piece in that one. It made me look way smarter. I was just not expecting a 40-piece, right? I was expecting maybe like 25, 10. But my God, dude, he looked fantastic. The 3-ball was falling, so that obviously changes how you can guard Porzingis. And I saw he cashed every Wizards bet for you. If you bet the spread, he hits the 3 on a step back with absolutely no reason to shoot it. But hey, he's maybe he bet on him. So hopefully he did. So were you happy with that one? Did you watch that game?
Well, I obviously wasn't happy. We fucking lost another 15-point comeback. So it was just another trial of being a Wizards fan where I just go to sleep angry at the end of the day. But hey, I will be going to a Wizards game soon, and I've never heckled anyone before, but I will be heckling Coach Wes Unseld. That's my new goal for the rest of the season because I can't wait till he gets fired so that I can watch the Wizards with joy rather than pain and anger.
Hey, we've all been there. You know how it is. I like we talked about a little bit last time. I went through the struggles as well. So hopefully you can bounce back here as quick as possible for your Wizards. I'll let you kind of talk about your NBA spots today. What game are you looking at? I looked at the slate and I really didn't like anything. Obviously, I didn't bet any NBA and I liked yesterday's slate. So it's just been kind of all college basketball at this point, just with how many games, how much volume is kind of going out there. So I guess it goes to you for this because I really, truly haven't even looked at NBA at all today.
Yeah, well, the problem is there's a couple blowouts on the slate. There's the Nets who knows? Is Cam Thomas going to be a starter today? Is Patty Mills going to play 25 minutes? Who knows what's going on there? So you kind of got to cut that game off. I mean, I haven't said the Wizards game in a while, but the Wizards-Hawks is kind of the biggest playoff ramification game right now. Both these teams are fighting for that playoff spot, that play-in tournament, trying to win their division, especially with the Heat struggling a little bit. I know Heat Cavs is probably the best game on the slate, but I don't love a 210 total. You guys know me. I want a 240. I want to run in transition. I want 24 turnovers from each team. I don't want a good fundamental game. So give me the Wizards and Hawks. I'll use my one Wizards card for the next couple months today.
Well, I just checked good old Tony Finau gets a nice bogey on a par 5, so that's great. So might as well just throw his ass off the cut. So sorry, guys. I'm sweating that one a little bit today. So we're sweating on Finau, and he looks like shit again. So nice. Travis popping in here. What's up, fellas? Let's win some money today. Yeah, dude, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we can get some more money. Obviously, only a half unit away from a sweet blast show. So obviously we're looking at another hopefully profitable show. I'm going to assume that is Porzingis that you're talking about there.
I think so, yeah.
Really wouldn't mind that at all. I just don't know how I feel about these rematches. I really don't bet them in the second one. I usually only bet the first one. So I'm completely happy staying away from the what is it, home road back-to-backs, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's fair too. For me, I like to kind of mix it up when I do. I don't really ever like going to the same exact bet back to back. I kind of like to, because you got to know that they're going to watch the film from that game. They had a day to make adjustments. The coach are going to hammer them on kind of what to do. So you definitely, if you do want to be betting, you got to mix it up a little bit if you can.
Yeah, you just see some crazy things happen on the second one, right? Blowout and then blowout, right? I seen the Houston Rockets had like a 30-point win over the Spurs after losing, right? They played, I think that was 2 weeks ago, maybe last week, where they lose the first one, then just blow them out by 40. Like, it's like a 50-point swing, dude. It's just wild to me. NBA is just kind of in that weird spot where it's like the numbers look good. The guy misses his prop the first time and then crushes it the second time. And it's just like, I stayed away from it on the second time. It just doesn't make any sense, and that's just kind of how I feel like a lot of the NBA season has been this year for sure, on just like so much variance.
Yeah, no, 100%. But, that's life. Oh, yeah, I see Joseph watch Capella hit 16 boards tonight. I was very close to betting it. I kind of feel the same way of like he screwed everybody, and like he screwed everybody in impressive fashion. If he got 7 rebounds, that's a bad day, obviously. I don't think I've seen Capella get like 1 rebound like ever. Like that was just insane, the lack of rebound. I know he's in foul trouble and stuff like that, but yeah, no, I kind of agree. I think 16 is going to be one of those where everyone just kind of shrugs and kind of ignores it, and then he goes off.
See, this is what really annoyed me about that game was we saw Okongwu get in foul trouble, right? He had 4 fouls, and then they brought in Jalen Johnson instead of bringing Capella back in because Capella had the foul trouble. I'm like, dude, just bring him back. If he fouls, go back to him, right? Like they're both at 4, right? We're almost done with the third quarter. Them going to Jalen Johnson, I think, was a huge, I don't want to say mistake, but huge turning point in that prop because they were playing without a 4 pretty much. They weren't because Jalen Johnson was playing the 5, and then you have to move for. I think Bogdanovich was playing the 3 at that stage in the game. So that would have been absolutely huge if they would have just put him back out there. But obviously they went with Jalen Johnson, and then Jalen Johnson decides to just grab every single rebound. Obviously, that's how it goes when we're doing stuff like that. So it was unfortunate, but I do really like that bet. I might actually like one of our buy down spots, like 10. Hopefully he doesn't Vucevic us,
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Jalen Johnson, like you said, too, was a turning point for the bet. I think it actually was a good coaching decision, though. He played really well when he came in, forced a couple steals, got some rebounds. But, yeah, it definitely was the end of that bet for sure.
All right. Let's dive in here. Do we want to talk my college basketball one first, since I think you only have one, right? Only one college or NBA play today? Yeah,
sure.
All right. I'll take a big right turn over. And I'm sure this one isn't going to be a surprise to anyone. Dude might actually, it's a wagon of mine. Obviously, we had the 2-unit play last night on New Mexico, and those guys were a wagon for me all season. And Toledo has been the exact same way. This is going for 2 seasons now. They've actually been a wagon for me because they're just so good at what they do. They have an identity and they stick to it, right? Absolutely dreadful defense. Like I'm not here to hype up their defense, right? That's not what I'm talking about. If you want a Spurs Rockets type of game, it's going to be this one. You have Toledo here. I could probably name you every single one of their players because they're just so good at their jobs, right? You got Maddox, you got Milner, you got Shoemate, right? I mean, you're just going down the line here. And all of these dudes are just awesome. You got Moss out there as well. And they just shoot the ball extremely well. Obviously, top 40. Actually, they're number 2 in three-point shooting. They're 5th in field goal shooting. And they're 2nd in scoring in the entire country this year at 86 points per game. That's a trivia question. If you want to talk to your friends there, they make the tournament. Cross your fingers that Toledo makes the tournament. You say, hey, who's the second top team in scoring this year? And no one's going to say Toledo because no one watches Toledo. Like, that's what we're doing here. We do the dirty work for you. So looking at that, obviously they're elite offense. But what I also like is they play fast, right? 7th in adjusted offense on KenPom, 282 adjusted defense, and they're 65th in the country in terms of pace. And then going over to Ohio, they're going to be I know you liked the analogy, the dance partner, and they're going to be a willing dance partner in this game as well. Middle of the pack in terms of pace, but we've seen both their games, Toledo dictate the pace. So they're willing to do it when the teams that they're playing against are running. They're willing to run. It's just not like they're going to do that on their own. If the other team's going to slow it down, all right, we'll slow it down. That's kind of why that pace number hasn't gone up. But they're 237 in adjusted defense. 70th in adjusted offense, but they shoot the ball well, 78.5 points per game, top 100 in terms of field goal percentage. And then obviously another team, top 40 in terms of 3-point shooting. I like the 5.5 point spread. I love how both teams are so good at free throws. You go to Toledo, 78%. You go to Ohio, 73%. How many of these games come down to free throws, man? You watch all these games, all these 5-6 point games. We're looking at a 6-point spread here. How many of these ones come down to free throws? It always happens. And when you're betting it over and you need those extra 8 points, right? You're sitting at that 8-point spot. That's where it comes down to, right? Because the other team is just going to kind of let them score, try to waste some clock and let them score because you don't want to foul and stop the clock. but you need those other teams to be making free throws. And you go over to Shoemate, nice, tall, he's 6'9", 6'10", shoots the three ball extremely well, over 40%. You have guards that can pretty much do whatever they want in this matchup on both sides. And these guys are more than willing to run with each other. We look at the numbers on the season, and Toledo has been an absolute wagon. So over 21-9 on the season to the over, and their numbers are not small, right? They're not small numbers. Just to look at their last few games here, Toledo has a 155, 160 and a half, 165 and a half, 145 and a half, and a 163 and a half. That's how high their numbers are. And they're still smashing the over. It's not like these are close either. They're hitting them by like 10, 15 points. So you got a team who want to shoot threes. We have a close enough game to get fouls at the end. And obviously both teams, hopefully Toledo's winning, right? Just because I'm a Toledo guy here. But even if Ohio's winning, Ohio's going to make their free throws as well. You look over on Toledo, obviously they have a deep enough team to be hitting their free throws there. Both teams on their second game, both teams hit their overs yesterday. So I think both teams are feeling pretty good. Obviously, I don't know if you watched the first half of Toledo because it was the 10 a.m. game. They just shot the absolute lights out. They were able to score in the paint. It's just a team that it's really tough to stop Milner in the paint and all these dudes on the outside. So I know it's a big number. If you're not a college basketball bettor, I know you're going to be like, wow, dude, 160s. There's a reason why it's 160. It's there for a reason, and it's very, very warranted in this spot. So sign me up. Toledo over 162. You can find 162 and a half at minus 105 on FanDuel, but I'll definitely take that push opportunity there for the Rockets there.
Yeah, no, I mean, my first thought was like, ooh, 162. I mean, I remember seeing some like 140s the last couple of days on some people. But then, I know Toledo's your guys, right? Even me not knowing anything, I know those are your guys. I know I've tailed you once or twice on these guys, and they're just absolutely on fire. So I went to check the other side. Ohio scored 90 and 92 points in their last two games. And then I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's why this is so high. And once again, I think you should just keep doing this dance partner thing over and over. I love that analogy. It makes sense. Obviously, when you get a fast team that meets a slow team, the slow team wants to slow them down, right? They want to bring them to them. But if we have two teams that are both just willing to run out in transition, keep shooting, and keep that pace high, then that's how we get a lot of points. So if you're dropping 1.5 units on this one, then hey, I'm going to keep rolling. I haven't been with Toledo as much as you have this year, but I've tailed you a couple of times. So I'm ready to keep where the Rockets. Is that what you said they are?
Hey, Rocket, baby. That's what the name of my chat is. My description of my chat is Toledo Rockets fan club, dude. I love these guys. If you just watch their first half, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is what you mean. Yeah, it's going to be like that. That's how big of a difference is when you watch you watch San Diego State. Like I bet the San Diego State first half under yesterday. If you watch that versus watching a Toledo game, the floor is so spaced. Everyone can shoot. Mm-hmm. San Diego State is trying to make it small, right? They're trying to slow the game down. They want to make the paint impossible to get to. You can't do that on Toledo. They just have everybody who can shoot. You don't have the option.
Raptors versus Rockets kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun one there. One I just saw posted Northwestern. I am not getting in front of Penn State. I'm not getting in front of them, dude. Pickett is dude. I say this when you back a team in March, what you want, right? You want to have somebody on one side who is willing he can do whatever he wants. I don't know if you watched Jalen Pickett. Obviously, this team is built for a run like this because they have a guy like Jalen Pickett who had a triple-double this year, can drop 30 points whenever he really wants. He's that good. I just don't want to get in front of a buzzsaw like that. I know they're not great, like if you look at their record and their team numbers on the year, but we've seen it last year with the New Mexico Lobos, Jalen House, right? That's the type of guy, right, who could just go and get a bucket when he needs one. And that's why if anything, I'm touching the Penn State side. I'm going to take the plus 100. I just don't want to lay points, and I don't want to take juice when we could literally just see the Jalen Pickett show again. It's tough for me to want to get in front of a buzzsaw or a guy who's just that good right now. He's just playing that well.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of the thing with March, right? Isn't it like it's momentum, right? That's the biggest thing. You got the team that has the most momentum. I just looked it up. Pickett's points is 16.5 right now. Are we thinking over? Are we thinking under? What do you think about that?
I mean, do they have a PRA? I mean, that's how good he is at everything else, right? I won't touch a point spot there. And dude, this is
30.5 is PRA.
I take that over the points. Okay. I would take that over the points, just because he has to affect everything. And Turbo is 1,000,000% right. You cannot, if you're going to bet in the Big Ten right now, you might as well just blindly bet the dog because the dog is barking in this conference. There's really no one team that sticks out besides Purdue, and Purdue's getting punched in the mouth against a terrible matchup with them right now against Rutgers. And it's just all of these teams are willing to slow down the pace. You have bigs galore in this conference, right? But all it takes is one dude to get hot as a guard because the guard play is not as stout as the big guys down there in the paint, right? You got Trace Jackson Davis, got Edey, obviously. That's what makes this conference tough is if a team gets hot from outside, it could be game over.
And what's the deal with Rutgers, man? I think I got a little on Michigan yesterday. Somebody in my Discord was talking up Michigan, and I'm like, well, yeah, Michigan is obviously going to beat Rutgers. I hope
they're so inconsistent, bro. They're so inconsistent. Ooh. That's what sucks. It's like these teams in the Big Ten, they beat up each other all season, right? Like as a Badger fan, I didn't even watch Badger games because it was just like watching paint dry because they just beat up each other. You're going to see 50 points, 60 points. Like in that game, you just take the points because this game is so slow that it's like 4 points is so valuable. One full extra possession is so valuable. And the dogs are barking in the Big Ten right now, man. They're barking, and it almost makes me want to go back to them today.
Okay, well, yeah, I might be laying a little, maybe Penn State as a parlay leg, get some underdogs going. Who knows? But I'm down. I like it.
Oh, you're trying to lay Penn State as an underdog, or you're trying to lay them in a parlay?
Yeah, why
Damn,
not?
You're wild, man. You might as well round robin that shit because there's a lot of dogs that'll probably be barking today.
That's fair. Round robin is probably smarter for the dogs. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll put something together after the show. Who knows?
Hey, as long as you're not betting Ohio as a dog, I'm okay with it. Okay, yes, no, this is we just talked about this in my chat this morning. I'm like, oh my God, dude, that had over 1 million views. So I guess if you're like looking at it as a way to get publicity, fine. But my God, dude, I saw him lose like 3 of those. Bro, if you're pulling out your 401k, where are you getting that money? Like you can't drop that much, especially in the tournament, especially in the Big Ten. Like if you're going to back something at 150, buy down a total or something. Like do something like that actually is like feasible where you feel like you have an edge. There was no edge in that game.
Yeah.
Like, there's no edge in that game. Rutgers they're tough. They're playing Purdue tough right now and are probably going to cover that spread as well. So it's so tough to see that, especially in college basketball where you might as well bet baseball like that, dude. Like that's how unpredictable March is. It's like playing baseball out there. That's how unpredictable it is.
Yeah, no, I just want to say to clarify, I did not tail that guy, okay? that was not the tweet that sold me. Just someone in my Discord was putting it out there. But yeah, no, I mean that's kind of funny. The life savings max play. I saw that yesterday, and then I saw a TikTok from a girl that said that we should be betting Kelly Oubre 32 PRA because there were 32 days left in the season. At that point, I just turned my phone off for the rest of the day. I watched a movie and just, enjoyed my day off. So that was enough of a sign for me to just keep it moving.
Bruh, I mean, people come up with anything, right? they'll be coming up with anything to come up with an edge, right? And it's oh man, it's ugly. It's ugly. Paul bringing up the Vols Mizzo. I don't hate it. Missouri's been terrible to me. Like Turbo, all these guys in the chat that kind of know. I bet on Missouri a lot because the numbers I look at indicate that they'll be better in some of these matchups. I like the under. It's just been smashed. It's just been absolutely smashed. We're down 2.5 points. I can't play it at that point, but I really like the under in that game. Under in first half, under full game. It's just the injuries on the Tennessee side. Man, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Obviously, shit. I have to remember this. I got to pull it up because I'm getting bothered by it. But they lost a big guy in their second to last game of the season. Somebody please tell me who it is on the side. I'm going to feel like an idiot. But somebody please post who got injured for Tennessee, who tore their ACL like 2 games ago. Because he's obviously a very, very Ziegler. There it is, Ziegler. I remember. There we go. That was good. I didn't even type it in. You couldn't even see my fingers typing. It was Ziegler. He tore his ACL, so that's a huge.
Yeah, my only feedback here is I feel like I bet on Tennessee in March all the time, and I feel like it never works. All I remember is Admiral Schofield was really good one year, and then the Wizards drafted him, and I was like, oh, he's going to be awesome. And he was like the worst player I've ever seen play basketball in person. So that's what I got for you.
Yeah, no, he fits that build of like an EJ Liddell, right? Very, very strong college dude, 3 years older than probably everybody out there. And when it comes to the league, man, they're all built like that. They're all built like that. So you can't bully ball anybody.
Yeah, you can't,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah, very funny though.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. That he was your first round or second round?
Second round. But I recognized him, and you barely ever recognize a second round pick. So when you see someone you're like whoever gets Bates this year in the second round is going to be like, I know that guy. I remember when he was a top prospect, and then he'll probably
Imani. I like Imani Bates, dude. I like him a lot.
Okay.
I think I saw you post about how you didn't want him on your team, and I'm like, I don't know what
doesn't he have T-Rex arms? Isn't he like? Is that
He's
not him?
Huge, bro.
I thought he had a little tiny wingspan, though.
No, look, dude, he's gonna be nice. He fits an NBA player though, like that. Like doesn't play a lick of defense.
Yeah.
Watch an Eastern Michigan game. It is the Imani Bates show.
Yeah.
And that's how it'll kind of work as an isolation ball out in college because the dude's like what 6'10".
Yeah,
and he's playing like wing, and he's playing point guard.
Yeah, I don't know. It just from everything I've read about him, like I don't know. It feels like you should be able to carry Eastern Michigan a little bit better if you're just an ISO scorer all the time. If your team fucking sucks and you're shooting 30 times a game, then like, why would I? Especially like you said, the dude who plays zero defense. He seems like real tall Jordan Clarkson, but possibly way worse. Like at least we know Jordan Clarkson can make shots in the NBA. We'll see. Who knows? But I don't know.
Well, to that team, their whole defense sucks. They play fast. They don't play defense. And they're all like that. So it's like in the MAC, you're not going to win games if you don't play a little bit of defense or unless you have a Toledo type offense where everybody can score. Because like Buffalo, like all these teams are just like run and gun, dude. You gotta score. And Imani Bates is the only dude who can score on that team. I don't think there's any other guy in double figures on that team.
Interesting. Well, hey, we'll see next year. Who knows? Maybe he will be a wizard. Who knows?
Hey, if he's a wizard, you're going to watch. He's going to be like your second best player on that team once they fucking get rid of Beal, huh?
Oh, well, that's
because he's like asking for it. Like you just signed an extension, bro. Why are you asking to get out of there, you know? All right. Speaking of Bradley Beal, not to put salt on your wound there, but let's talk about him.
Yep. I'm going to Bradley Beal over 31.5 points plus assists right here. Playing this one at minus 102. Beal's hit this in both games versus the Hawks. They've obviously played twice in the span of the since the All-Star break, so like a week and a half. And he's hit this in both games. One of them, he had a spike scoring performance where he had 30 points and 7 assists. The other one, he still cashed this number with only 24 points. He got there on the 8 dimes. Monty Morris is back, but he is on a minutes limit, and he's playing off the bench right now. They're trying to keep that starting lineup with Delon Wright alive, which I agree with. I would continue to do that. I think Delon fits the starting lineup a little bit better, and then have Monty Morris kind of run the show for that backup lineup, which really helps a lot with the assist for Bradley Beal. Beal's had the ball in his hands a lot more in the second half of the season. It's playoff time. I don't know if anybody saw the post after last game in the press conference where Kyle Kuzma pretty much said, listen, our whole fourth quarter playbook is give Bradley Beal the ball and just let him do whatever. And that's just how it is. And if we win, then we win. And if we lose, then we lose. Then they asked Coach West if he thought we had a predictable fourth quarter game plan. He's like, no, I love our fourth quarter game plan. You can just give Beal the ball all the time. So the point of me saying all that is I don't think they're going to change. I think Beal is going to continue to be relied on for this ISO ball. I think he's going to continue to run the pick and roll in these late game sets. We got the pick and pops with Porzingis, who's obviously been knocking down the threes. Corey Kispert is playing very well right now. I will be looking to bet his threes. It was only available like 5 minutes before the game last time, so I couldn't get that prop out, unfortunately. But it's going to be a competitive game. It's going to be a playoff game. I think Beal is going to have the ball in his hands a ton, and he's been playing pretty well recently. I know he's getting a lot of flack, on the internet for maybe not being that 30 points a game guy, but he's been that more recently, right? He's hit that 30-point mark in a couple of his last games. I think he keeps it going today. I understand this one may be a little high for some people. I know the assists are something that scare people, but they've been consistent. I like 7 and 8 in both games, even with Monty Morris back in the lineup. So I think Beal keeps it going right here. I think this is very important. I think he probably ends up around 27, 28 points, but I do like having the safety of the assist there as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about that, the Monty Morris news. I know he came back last game, right? Came back last game and played. So I was just curious on how that would affect that, but you got that right out of the way right away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real valid concern because earlier in the year they were running things through Monty, but we kind of saw that decrease, and now Delon's playing great. I mean, NBA props mentioned the steals and blocks. I'm sure Delon's on the top of your list for good reason tonight. He's been an absolute monster on the defensive end. And when you're playing a team like the Hawks that they have DeJounte and Trae Young, you can't really put Monty Morris out there for 30 minutes. He's going to get absolutely cooked by one of those guys. Well, Delon Wright is going to provide you great defensive assistance. So all that means for me is more of the ball in Bradley Beal's hands, which is exactly what we want for this prop.
Perfect. I'm looking just to see if there's any other questions in the chat. Does not look like it. So, all right, guys, back over to college. It's my only 2 plays today on here. And I'll be going to the Creighton Blue Jays, heading over to Creighton and Xavier tonight. I know there's been a lot of unders, and I know that that's been a pretty big thing here, but I like how both these teams play against each other. Obviously, they played twice this year, 151 total and one of them cleared the total by like 30 points. So we've seen them willing to run and gun. We've even seen it where one team only scored in the 60s, and they still almost got it over this number. I just love the depth of both of these teams. Not the depth in terms of playing 8 guys, 10 guys, but the depth of scoring, right? We look at these teams, and I talk about how you want to have a guy who's able to score and get a bucket, right? Creighton's got 5 dudes and over 12 points per game. That is very, very good to have here in March. Obviously, I don't know if you – oh, man, I don't know, Stu, if I talked about South Dakota State with you last year. They were a wagon for me. But that was with my team because they had Baylor Shireman, and he was fantastic. Well, guess who transferred over to Creighton and is their third leading scorer? Baylor Shireman. He is over there as a grad transfer. They have Nebhardt's brother, Ryan Nebhardt, obviously Andrew Nebhardt over there. He's fantastic. They're also rolling a 7-footer. Kalkbrenner's out there. He tore up his knee last year. That was a big loss for them. And now they're coming in, kind of getting more healthy. Trey Alexander still averaging 14 a game. All 3 of those guards, or 4 of those guards, are all shooting 35+% from 3. So that's very nice to have in a matchup like this against a Xavier team who is very similar. 4 or 5 guys over 10 points per game, 4 of them over 14 points per game. That is really tough to guard when you have so many different options in here. Creighton in their last game had 5 guys over double digits. Obviously, that is very, very nice to see that you can't really have a lack on anybody, right? Everybody has the ability to score on these teams. And what I really like is Xavier, obviously, giving up 75 points per game is something I like, obviously. Creighton's a little bit better at 68 points, but both offenses are elite numbers. KenPom rating of 6 for Xavier. Go over to Creighton, KenPom rating of 24. Both these guys play decent in terms of pace. You look over on Xavier, they're top 40, Creighton in the middle of the pack, but again, willing to run when needed, right? Willing to run when the other team is doing that. So looking at Creighton here, like I talked about their 4 or 5 different scorers there, but 77 points per game, top 50 in terms of 2-point field goals, top 100 and 3-point field goals, shoot 76% from the line, which is what we just talked about. Very nice to have in March. Go over to Xavier, 82 points per game, top 5 in 3-point shooting and 2-point shooting. Hey, I'll take that all day, right? That is an elite offense on the Xavier side. And they're playing at a great pace, which obviously makes the 80 points much easier to get to when you're like that. And if I know there's some guys here in the chat who like the trends, let's just go over to Creighton on some of these trends, right? 4-0 to the over in their last 4 games. This is one that I kind of like, is they're 7-1 to the over in their last 8 neutral site games, which is huge because the neutral site is usually what scares people away from the overs because teams aren't able to do it as well. And then you go over to Xavier, 4-0 in their last 4 games to the over, 6-1 in their last 7 neutral site games. Both these teams do it the same way. They're kind of built in that same type of way here where they have big guys who can score, whether you're talking about Fremantle or Kalkbrenner. Gosh, I have to get that right. That's a tough one to say. But Fremantle obviously is one of the best players on the Xavier side. That's going to be a fun matchup for guys who want to kind of see what these guys can do if they maybe do get to play center at the next level. They're not really shooters, so it's going to be tough because you're seeing a lot of those like European centers who are about the same size being able to shoot from there. Mm-hmm. But in college, it is very nice to have type of guys like that. So I think the numbers are really really nicely added up here. Obviously, another high total, and I get that. Some people don't want to bet that in March. You don't have to, but when you look at how these teams match up, they had a poor shooting game in their last one, and we still saw one team with 64 points, and we still almost hit this number and only missed it by 2 points. So we're seeing these teams start to get that offense going, right, when we want to see it. I mean, even if you want to just look at the last game, right? Xavier just dropped. They just dropped 21 points over the initial total that Vegas dropped, which is nuts, against DePaul last game. And then obviously the Villanova game last night went over by a lot, right? It was a 135 total last night, 87-74 in that one. So I think we could see some points. I think both teams will want to kind of get that going, get that offense moving right away. And I really like this over again. Good free throw shooting, older guys on this roster, and dudes who can get a bucket when you need one.
Okay, I have 2 questions about this game. We'll
All
go
right.
with number 1 first, a little bit more of a not critical, but I've heard a lot of back and forth in March because we talked about momentum being important. Do you think having all this mileage on these guys' legs, playing so much recently, can kind of negatively affect that? And have we seen that in the tournament so far?
So what do you mean, like minutes?
Yeah, like all these guys playing all these back-to-backs, having all these minutes on their legs in a short span. Have we seen that result in a lot of unders recently?
Well, the unders are coming. Like I said, about the neutral site stuff, right? Like you're traveling, both teams are there. Like you don't have that home field advantage. But obviously, the guys are young, right? They're college dudes, but they were off for 6 days, right? They were off for 6 days leading up into it. So it's not like these are 2 days off and then back-to-backs, right?
Yeah.
You had a full week of prep, right? Full 6 days. I think looking at Creighton, I think it was actually the last game before that was DePaul on the 4th, and then their game last night. And then if you look over on Xavier, it's about the same, right? They both had a nice rest period before they played that last one. I think the 4th was their last game against Butler as well. So 6 days off. I think we'd more see that in the championship games when it's like the 3rd or 4th day, especially if these teams are lower level teams that are making a run, that are playing 5 games in 5 days, right? That would be where I'd worry about that a little more. But when you don't have, like, I'm more worried about that for like a championship game of like Pickett, where he's got to do everything every time he's out there. Mm-hmm. You know, these guys, you can say, oh, I can take a possession off. I got 4 other dudes who can score and get a bucket if they need one, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I hear back-to-backs being a thing that people talk about a lot. So I was just curious about that. And then 2, you know me, you got any props in this one and any guys sticking out to you, and anyone in particular? Or it's more just the team that is everyone's reliable?
Yeah, no, I would probably like, there's not one guy to me that kind of sticks out here. Maybe a rebounding prop of one of the centers. I don't know what they're at, but that would be where I would go versus trying to bet on which one is going to pop off. It's like the Spurs, you know, when they're all healthy. You just don't know who it is. You know, it's like they're all able to do it. Or like the Raptors, right? They're all doing it. You know, it's not like there's one guy dropping 30 a game, you know. That's what makes it tough. And you got to just pick the right one. And I would just like to say stay with the full over on both sides.
Very fair, very fair.
Oh, Jesus. Tommy Fleetwood, 3 straight bogeys after an eagle. Nice, dude. Nice. Just cut him. Cut him off the tour. Send him to live, dude.
Hey, the good news is the cut line's got to be 2. I don't think it's 1. With this weather, it's got to be 2. It's going to keep going.
Right now, +1, which is Fleetwood, is tied for 58th.
It's going to go. I'm telling you, the wind, it's going up. Trust me. Put that faith in.
Right, well, still, he's got 14 holes and the dude's on a 3 bogey streak, so get your shit together or just go to freaking live, dude.
And then looks like we got one more in there. What do you think about Memphis over UCF -4.5?
Oh, shit, dude. I don't like Memphis to ever really cover spreads. I just prefer to take their team total just because of how run and gun they are and how loose their defense is. And they're going for like steals, right? They're not going to try to play half-court defense, right? They want to run. They want to get you in a sped-up situation, and they're going for steals. They're not going for like position, right? They're not trying to keep their center of gravity in front of you. They're trying to get the ball and go in fast break. That's how they play. +1 is this? I don't know what
the cut line. I think he's saying 52% chance, +1, 48%, +2.
How about we just cut Tommy Fleetwood and they just give me 100 freaking DraftKings point for him getting cut? How about that? because this is pissing me off, dude. You eagle the first hole. And then you freaking 3 straight bogeys, dude. You had 3 shots for 18 holes to hold on, and now you have to just make me sweat. Just freaking hold on, dude. Just hold on. We can be sitting at that's too much. The other guys are doing too well for you to be this shitty. Shout out Ben Griffin. That's who I'm talking about.
The only thing I can't give anything about UCF. Taco Fall doesn't play there anymore, right? So ever since he went to the NBA, then I don't have any opinions. Well, he was there, right? The tall motherfucker.
I don't think Taco Fall is at UCF.
That's Central Florida, right?
Let me check.
USF maybe.
I think it was S.
There was an F. It was a Florida. I don't know which one. I just remember that tall motherfucker was down there guarding Zion in March one year. But
UCF, yeah, Central Florida. So that was it. Yeah, I kept thinking it was SF2. God, I couldn't, dude. When I think of these, dude, they're like the same. Like if you look at those numbers, like it's just all right next to each other. So it's UF.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Give me some college bets there, man.
I'm a savant. I'm a college basketball savant. And that was a fun game. He's a Duke fan in the chat right here. They should have lost that game. The refs sold us right there. I was rooting for Taco.
Oh, Christ.
That's the pass.
Oh, Christ. Oh, man. The refs, you can complain about them, but it's like they're bad always. So it's like true. That's why I think about it. That's why I'm taking more totals, more like first half stuff, because do I really want to trust a ref down the stretch to make a good call? Even a lot of these guys here in the chat that know me or know the way I bet, I'm probably sitting at 75% first half bets. Unless it's like an over where I see a closer total, where I see a closer spread, where I can get fouls at the end, That's why RJ missed. Hey, dude, I feel that, man. I remember watching all those games, dude. That was a fun tournament, though. That was a really fun tournament.
It was. I remember that, too. My mom, Michigan State graduate, too, as well. So I was definitely rooting for that side as well. But
sorry, does that mean you're betting Michigan State today or what?
I saw it, but then I did see some people on the other side. I wasn't quite sure. Do you have a take? Should I be? Because if you say yes, I'll just go do it right now. You good? Completely cut out for me.
You cut out for me, so I don't know if that was which side of that was on. But I'm on. I'll give you a 32 of you, the guys that are in here, 45 minutes in. I'll give you another free play here. I won't post it anywhere. I'll just kind of say it. But I'm on Ohio State, Michigan State first half under. I believe it's 63.5. I was on Michigan State first half spread in their last matchup, and they just shot lights out. Senior day, they're in Michigan State, right? Like it was in Lansing out there, dude. It was popping. So I will be chilling on that under and just hoping we see some bricks.
A little bit of regression. Yeah. Okay. I can tell that. That doesn't directly, offend my family bloodline. So I'm good with that.
Oh, fuck, dude. You sound like you're talking Game of Thrones type of shit, dude.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it runs deep out in the Midwest, okay? I'm never going to be on tape saying anything negative about I want to be able to go home to my family every once in a while.
I love how you say it's deep in the Midwest. When your boy is living in Wisconsin, your ass is out east. So you're saying it like it's so far away. Like I'm a California guy. Like I'm literally sitting here in 6 inches of snow, fucking chilling here. Like I'm the guy who's dealing with that shit.
I've got my jacket on for 45-degree weather right now. So,
Yeah, it is. Right now, as of right now, it is 31 degrees. We got 6 inches of snow last night. So you can't speak bloodlines when you ain't out here living it, bro. We got to get you out here and live through a winter, and then we can talk.
That's fair.
Oh, fucking A, dude. I have my tour cast up for all my golfers, and they're all deciding to fuck me over. All right, we got Blackbeard up here. Any long shots? Christ. I don't. Stu, if you want to do an NBA one, I can maybe look at alt team totals if I want to.
I don't have anything today. I mean, I was thinking about going back to Capella again. That's really the only, but I haven't bet that yet, so I don't really want to give that out right now. But the Capella as the fuck you to gambling Twitter bounce back would be the only one that I'm considering right now. I'll probably have like a steals and blocks kind of long shot parlay as well a little bit later. But yeah, nothing in the bet slip right now for me.
Oh shit! I mean, just because I'm a Toledo diehard, maybe take them to score 90. taking them to score 90 is plus 250. Maybe that would be a spot, but like it's tough to do a long shot in college basketball unless you're betting a straight dog, which a lot of the dogs that I like are within like plus 150 to plus 200. You know, like they're not like us sitting plus 1500 PJ Washington double type of shit. You ain't gonna find a plus 1500 in March, unless it's a 16 versus 1. You know, like that's really the only way you're getting some of these to end up.
I learned that the hard way. Props long shots are way more fun than spread long shots when you're getting, you know, a lot less right there. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't help you with the college basketball long shots either. So I can pull up the app and just read you the first plus 500 I see as my pick for today. But I think we can pass on that.
Yeah, it's tough today. It's tough because I don't like any NBA games unless you're going to alt under everything on some of these blowout games possibly. But that's pretty much about it. So let's recap. And if you guys have any other questions, I'd ask those shortly here so we can get those in for you before we head out. So I'll start with you, Stu. Okay, well, let me ask a question. Niagara's plus 800. That's a dope name. What do we think? Is that near Niagara Falls? Is that a vibe? Yeah, it's, my buddy went to Niagara. That's kind of funny. Okay. So plus 800 might be live. That's all I have to say. No, that is not live. That is not me endorsing to bet that. That's you might, dude. If you're gonna take that money, go put it on black or put it on like a number to get hit on a freaking roulette wheel. That's pretty much what you're betting on there. Yeah, Niagara's a pretty cool name, though. I was rocking with the Citadel for a while. I fucking love that name. So the Citadel was kind of a bit of a wagon for me a couple years back. I don't know how they're doing anymore. They're ass now. Well, I used to bet their overs blindly every single game last year. Okay, I jumped off at the right time, so that's good. Shit, dude. I'll stop bullshitting with my stuff and get to the recap if we want. Yeah. Right here. No, my dad just texted me Bryce Sensabaugh, which is the best player on Ohio State, is out. Ooh. That means Michigan State actually will probably smoke the hell out of him because that's their best player. He's that freshman who's a stud. So, well, my under feels a little better now, so I'll take it. Okay, sounds a little breaking news on the show right here. But I have the one NBA of the day, mostly college basketball, which I enjoyed. I like hearing about this stuff. I like learning a little bit more. But I went with my guy. Well, he's not really my guy. I went with Bradley Beal, over 31.5 points plus assists, minus 102. Only NBA spot of the day today. Yep, I'll be rolling with my Rockets, my wagon there. I'm rolling with them again, over 162. DraftKings, minus 115. 1.5 units, and we're going Creighton over 152.5, minus 110. I did post about 5 minutes before the show my YouTube play of the day, so make sure you pop over there and grab that one too, because that's another college basketball spot on the docket. And then last one quick, UCLA, Oregon. Only a 5 point. Dude, yesterday scared me. UCLA yesterday kind of scared me when they were losing at half to Colorado. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I bet you me and Stu could find 3 other Twitter cappers to keep it close with Colorado. Like, for real, they're really bad. And UCLA was losing to them at half. So not like I'm hating on them, but it's like that kind of scares me off. You know, like I like teams that are they're crisp right away from when they start this up. And that's why I'm kind of rolling with the teams that I'm rolling with here, because first game yesterday for Toledo, almost scored 100, right? Same thing with Creighton, same thing with Xavier, right? They all have been playing well, even from the first one. So I don't hate it. Maybe if you want to just throw it in a money line one, those points are so valuable in March. Like I almost like the 5 points is. UCLA is another team that keeps fucking me in my brackets in March. So I think I went with them last year. All I know is they have like the same players every year, and I'm confused how they don't all graduate. Except I know Johnny Juzang or whatever his name was is on the Suns or something. Like on the Jazz. Oh, whatever. Okay, well, he's not there anymore. But I know they still have those 2 other short guys that are still there. So Tiger Campbell. You're talking about Tiger Campbell there. Yeah. The little guy with the weird hair? Yes. Yeah. But I will not be – I just seen how they burnt me last year. So UCLA is getting faded by the monotone projections this year. And that could definitely be the case. That's why I said I think they win. It's just like I said, 5 points is more than 5 points in a regular season game here, you know? I'll let you take this one because I didn't even look. I did see that he was out, though. How do you not questionable or doubtful or whatever it is? Yeah, no, I agree. I think Mitchell obviously will see that huge spike, especially with the fact that, what's his name?
Ricky Rubio isn't going to start. They've been putting other guys in. I know when Mitchell missed earlier, Neto got the start instead of Ricky Rubio. So if Ricky Rubio comes off the bench and it's Mitchell and some other, Karis LeVert comes in the starting lineup, then I do like that angle.
Yeah, you just got to hope LeVert's hitting his shots because that ball is going up immediately.
Never. I like that trade initially because I like Allen, and I thought LeVert would actually get better and better. Like I thought LeVert could be really good. But yeah, no, I don't think I bet on him in like 2 years, probably or a year and a half, maybe. I don't know.
What's that total? Like 208?
210, 211, I think earlier.
Well, you have to assist on like 40% of the buckets.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Oh, fuck. All right. Recap done. Everything else done. Damn, this one ran a little long probably because I was bitching out Tony Finau and Tommy Fleetwood's dumbass. Hopefully they can lock in, dude. Let's get it. I need them to make the cut. So if you guys have any other questions, like I said, make sure you drop them after the show. Stu, what do you got for the people before we head out?
Yeah, I mean, all I got to say is Pass the Prop's been going good. So keep on tuning in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We got some good guests lined up. I got a couple people ready to hop on next week. And obviously next week is going to be incredibly exciting. We will have more plays. I'll have some stuff on Twitter today. Maybe not much with the NBA slate. I'll probably mostly be following your stuff and following tons of college basketball. So just got that to look forward to.
Yeah, heads up. I don't know about Friday. We might have to record that one Thursday night or something. I will probably be drunk at 10 a.m. Watching games. I took off work that day completely. So
let's lock that in right now. I'm not trying to do this on Friday. Yeah,
we ain't doing it Friday morning, unfortunately. But by Wednesday, I'll probably have all of my like region breakdowns on what I like, all that stuff out there, putting all that out with props and stuff that people like there. But yeah, Friday's gonna be tough. Unless you want to fly out here, go to Chicago. I might be down in Chicago for March Madness out here. So that's probably where I'll be setting up shop and watching all these games. That's where I went last year. It was a ton of fun down there.
If my sister was in Chicago, she's normally there, then I would actually maybe take you up on that. But unfortunately not. Maybe next year though. That would be pretty fun. We'll see if we can work something out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, do an in-person one. That'd be kind of fucking weird, but hey, we'll see. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys all staying with us. We got 20 of you guys in here. Make sure you lock in that Ohio State play. That one starts very soon here. And yeah, everything else is out. Make sure you guys follow both of us on Twitter. We'll have more plays out there. Again, have some guests next week. Very excited for that. And if you have any more questions, we have them. We usually answer them after the show, whether you send them out here at 2, 3, 4, whatever time you're able to pop on. I know you guys are working, so do that so we can get those out to you. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck today. And yeah, let's crush this slate again.